What's up everybody, welcome back to A Ball on a Goal. My name is Cornel and in this video I'm gonna talk Europa League. I'm excited about the competition. It's starting today as a kid who grew up in the 80s and being familiar with the former UEFA Cup, I can say that back in the days probably was the toughest European competition to win. Because back then Champions League had only one team per country, and the UEFA Cup had 2, 3 or maybe even 4 clubs from one federation. And basically, given the fact that they also had the Cup Winner Cup back in the days, the teams that were from second, third and fourth position in their leagues, they were competing in the UEFA Cup. And also the final was played over 2 legs. So today Europa League resembles the UEFA Cup back in the days. Obviously nowadays the toughest competition, it is Champions League, due to the thing that the best countries have 4 teams in the competition. But nevertheless, I think Europa League remains a strong competition, a tough competition, and like I said, excited about the new season with big names, to be honest, that are participating in it from West and East Europe as well. So I'm gonna look over it, look over the teams, talk a little bit about everyone involved in the competition. The format is gonna be the same like in the Champions League, 36 teams in one big group stage, 8 games to be played by each, 4 at home and 4 away. Before I go into the teams, if you guys want to join my predictor game, this is the code to join the league. I'm pretty sure not too many people will actually play overall like the Champions League, because to be honest you need to have just a little bit more information about the European football and leagues to play the UEFA Europa League predictor game. However, you know, if you feel you're lucky, just join the league. Make sure you're there before the deadline of today. I think it's 12:45, I remember correctly, the first game. All right, so to make it easier for me and for yourself, I divided the teams in 3 categories. The first one will be East Europe, and that's where I'm gonna start. Everything east of Vienna basically for me means East Europe. So you got Turkey, Czech Republic, Greece, Ukraine, Romania, Hungary, Bulgaria, Azerbaijan, Latvia, and I also included Israel here as well. Turkey with 3 teams, and to be honest, I might be wrong, I didn't check exactly, but with the exception of London, I don't recall any other European club competition that will have 3 teams from the same city in it. So you got Turkey with Galatasaray, Fenerbahce and Beşiktaş, Czech Republic with Slavia Prague and Victoria Plzeň, Greece with Olympiacos Piraeus and PAOK Salonik, Ukraine with Dynamo Kiev, Romania with FCSB, that's former Steaua Bucharest, Hungary with Ferencváros, Bulgaria with Ludogorets Razgrad, Azerbaijan with Karabag, Latvia with RFS Liga, and Israel with Maccabi Tel Aviv. Alright, so let's look at the Turkey teams. These are the position in the league currently. Galatasaray first place, 6 wins out of 6, 100% record so far. Fenerbahce in second place, 13 points, and Beşiktaş in third place, 13 points as well. 1 game less played, no defeats yet for Beşiktaş in their domestic league. They had a big derby last weekend. Fenerbahce lost at home 3-1 against Galatasaray. I think it was the first derby for Jose Mourinho as the Fenerbahce coach. So Galatasaray, Okan Bukur is the head coach, and I just put some names here just to show you exactly what kind of players are playing for the Turkish clubs. Financially, probably, in my opinion, it's probably the strongest league from East Europe. They have the money, clearly. Muslera in goal, the goalkeeper for Uruguay. Lucas Torreira, Dries Mertens, okay, I think he's around 38, 39 now. Former Napoli player. Davinson Sanchez, the center back from Tottenham. Mauro Icardi is here as well. Missed some big chances in the playoff against the Young Boys. Demirabi used to play for Bayer Leverkusen, a right winger, if I remember correctly. Victor Osimhen finally found his place. Conte didn't like him at Napoli. He brought Lukaku in, so Osimhen had to find another home. So I guess for now he's settled in Istanbul at Galatasaray. Michy Batshuayi from Chelsea. Hakim Ziyech again, a guy that used to play in the Premier League. 24 titles for Galatasaray domestically, 18 Turkish Cup, which represents a record for Turkish football. They won the UEFA Cup in the 99-2000 season, and also they won the UEFA Super Cup in the 2000, playing as the winners of the UEFA Cup. And one interesting fact that I found is that Galatasaray fans hold the record for the loudest crowd roar at a sports stadium with a reading of 140.76 decibels. I don't know exactly how that one sounds like, but I'm pretty sure it's terrifying for the opposition players and fans. In my opinion, Istanbul is probably the most hostile and toughest place to go and play in European football. The reason I put those teams here, the ones that they will play away at Galatasaray, is just I wanted to see if there's anybody who will have to go twice to Istanbul, and actually it is, but not from the teams that have to play Galatasaray. So PAOK Salonik, Elfsborg, Tottenham and Dynamo Kiev, they will travel to hell basically. So big names, club with a big history, being European champions back in 99-2000. So curious to see what will happen. Moving forward to the other two teams from Istanbul. Fenerbahce, like I said, head coach Jose Mourinho just lost his first Istanbul derby over the weekend. Again, I had to put some names here just to give you an idea about who is playing for this team. Livakovic, the Croatian goalkeeper. Dusan Tadic used to play at Southampton at one point. Saint Maximin, exiled by Newcastle. Shoyuncu, a former centre-back for Leicester. Edin Dzeko, again, champion with Manchester City. Fred, Manchester United. El-Nesri, Sevilla. Amrabat, Fiorentina. Manchester United. Chesing Gunder, I think he was playing at Rome at one point. So a lot of money spent. Unfortunately, they were, for them and for Jose, they were eliminated from the UEFA Champions League by Lille. So they end up in the Europa League. 28 titles, which represent a record for Turkish football. 7 Turkish Cup. They reached a quarterfinal of the Champions League back in 2007-2008, and they played a semi-final of the Europa League in 2012-2013, and also a quarterfinal of the Conference League in 2023-2024. So the home games will be against Union Saint-Gilloise from Belgium, Manchester United, Athletic Bilbao and Olympique Lyon. Athletic Bilbao is highlighted with red because that is the team who will have to travel twice to Istanbul to play Fenerbahce and Beşiktaş Istanbul. Head coach Giovanni van Bronckhorst did a good job, if I remember correctly, at Glasgow Rangers. A couple of years ago, played the final of a Conference League, I think, with them. Again, big names: Jetson Fernandez, Rafa Silva, Milot Rashica, the striker from Kosovo, Gabriel Paulista, Ciro Immobile, and that here at Beşiktaş, Masuaku used to play for West Ham United. João Mario, Portuguese player, 16 titles and 11 Turkish Cup for Beşiktaş. And like I said, the home games, Eintracht Frankfurt, Malmo, Maccabi Tel Aviv and Athletic Bilbao. I really feel sorry for Athletic Bilbao players and fans. They will have to travel twice to, like I said, a very hostile environment. But San Memes, actually, it's not that different either. It's a tough place to go and play over there as well. Moving on to Greece, they have two teams in this group stage. Olympiacos Piraeus, currently third in the Greek Super League, 10 points in 5 games, and PAOK Salonic, we actually is first, undefeated yet in their league. 13 points out of 5 games. Olympiacos Piraeus is, as you know, the Conference League winner from last season, and the head coach Jose Luis Mendilibar won the Europa League 1 year before with Sevilla. So he won 2 European titles in 2 consecutive years, one with Sevilla in 2022-2023 and one with Olympiacos Piraeus in 2023-2024. Again, big names here as well: Jesor Martis, Chiquinho, Yaremchuk, Sergio Oliveira, Willian end up here. 47 titles, that represents a record for Greek football, and 28 Greek Cups. That's really a big numbers. Now, of course, in these countries, the competition is not as tough as in, let's say, Premier League in England, for example. But nevertheless, in the end, you gotta, you win, and you gotta beat whoever is in front of you, and they did it. I think from all these countries that are participating in Europa League, this is the second number for titles, domestic titles. They reached the quarterfinals of the UEFA Champions League back in 98-99. Also, they were in the quarterfinal of the Cup, Winners' Cup in 92 and 93. And like I said, last season, they won the Conference League, beating Fiorentina in the final. Like the Turkish clubs, I think Olympiacos Piraeus, it's a strong team from Greece. And the other team from Greece, it's PAOK Salonic. Now they are like a more recently developed into a strong team. They reached the quarterfinals of the Conference League twice in the last 3 seasons, 2021, 2022, and 2023-2024. They were eliminated by Malmo in this year Champions League. 4 titles and 8 Greek Cups for PAOK Saloniki. Also a quarterfinal of the Cup, Winner Cup, in 73-74. Like I said, they came out strong and fighting for the league in the recent years, even though their history is long as well. Another big name, and probably one of the biggest names from the list of participants in Europa League, is Dynamo Kiev. 13 titles in the Soviet top league back in the days, and then you add 16 titles in the Ukrainian league that started, I think, in 1992. 9 Soviet Cup and 13 Ukrainian Cup. 2 titles in the Cup Winners' Cup, 74-75 and 85-86. And also they won the UEFA Super Cup in 1975. And one interesting thing about Dynamo Kiev, 2 players have won Ballon d'Or while playing for Dynamo Kiev, and that is Oleg Blokhin in 1975 and Igor Belanov in 1986. Now, I'm old enough to remember Belanov actually. He was a very good player, played for the Soviet Union as well, and I think he was part of the team that made it all the way to the final of the Euros in 1988, and I think he scored in the semi-final while Soviet Union defeated Italy 2-1, if I remember correctly. So yeah, like I said, a big team, big history, big results. Obviously, the things were different back then. Most of the West European clubs didn't have not just the financial power they have today, but also they didn't have more than 3 players from one country or more than 3 players, foreign players in their team. So things were completely different. But nevertheless, teams from East Europe back in the days, they were able to compete and be in some cases even better than the Western clubs. And Dynamo Kiev was definitely one of them. And another team, again, probably one of the biggest names from the East Europe part, Steaua Bucharest, from Romania, 27 titles, that represents a record for Romanian football, and 24 Romanian cups. Won the UEFA Champions League in 1985-86. Yeah, you heard me right. I think was the first and second until now a club from East Europe to manage to win the UEFA Champions League, and they did it in an extraordinary manner, actually, playing away from home in Spain against Barcelona in Sevilla, and beat them on penalties. And if I remember correctly, Duc Adam, the Romanian goalkeeper, saved 4 penalties in that final. They ended up to play at penalties. So yeah, the first, like I said, the first club from East Europe ever to win the Champions League, and only second in the history of the competition. The other one being Red Star Belgrade, who is currently playing in the Champions League. They also won the UEFA Super Cup in 1986, defeating the Dynamo Kiev that we just spoke before. They were the winners in the same season of the Cup Winners' Cup. And they also play another final of the Champions League 4 years later, 88-89 season, and they were defeated in that final, if I remember correctly, by AC Milan, which had Arrigo Sacchi as a coach. And a big team, Paolo Maldini, actually, I think he was just 18 or 19 years old at that time. Yeah, so those pretty much are the big names from the East European countries: Dynamo Kiev, Steaua Bucharest, Galatasaray, Fenerbahce. Yeah. There's another team actually comes from East Europe with a lot of history. Slavia Prague, the little sister of Sparta Prague, which currently plays in the Champions League. A lot of achievements for them as well. UEFA Cup semi-final in 95-96. If I remember correctly, again, they were defeated in that semi-final by Girondins de Bordeaux, for whom a guy named Zinedine Zidane was playing. I remember because I think I watched that semi-final, Bordeaux against Slavia Prague. Cup Winner Cup quarterfinal in 97-98, Europa League quarterfinal twice in 2018, 2019, and 2020-2021, and another Conference League quarterfinal in 2021-2022, and also a quarterfinal of the UEFA Cup in 99-2000. So yeah, a lot of good results. in European competitions, also 7 titles and 7 cups in the Czech league, and also 13 titles and 2 cups in the Czechoslovakia league that was before the Czech league. Like the Ukrainian competition, I think the Czech league started somewhere around 1991 or 1992. So altogether 20 titles and 9 cups for Slavia Prague. And the other teams from East Europe, Ferencváros from Hungary, 35 titles, which is a record for Hungarian football, 24 cups, again a record. And another interesting thing about Ferencváros, they had a guy played for them back in the 50s, actually it was 1967, who won the Ballon d'Or, Florian Albert. Ludogorets, Bulgarian team, 13 consecutive titles. Now the interesting thing about Ludogorets is that they were promoted to the first division for the first time in 2011, and ever since they were promoted into the first division, they won the title in the Bulgarian first league. And also 3 Bulgarian cups in that time. Maccabi Tel Aviv, 25 titles and 24 cups in Israel. Karabakh from Azerbaijan, 11 titles and 8 cups. RFS Riga from Latvia, 3 titles and 2 cups. Now bear in mind this club was founded 10 years ago in 2014. And Victoria Plzeň, another club from Czech Republic with 6 titles and 1 cup. All the teams from East Europe have either won a title, a domestic title, and a cup as well. There's nobody here that never won a title or a cup. So pretty tough competition here, to be honest. So yeah, will be interesting to see. I think altogether 14 teams from East Europe in this year competition. Moving on, the second category will be West and North Europe. Holland, Belgium, Portugal, Scotland, Sweden, Denmark and Norway. One country with 3 teams as well will be Holland with Ajax, Alkmaar and Twente. Belgium with 2, Anderlecht and Union Saint-Gilloise. Portugal with 2, Porto and Braga, and Sweden as well with 2 with Elfsborg and Malmo. Scotland with Glasgow Rangers, Denmark with Midtjylland and Norway with Bodo Glimt. Now of course Ajax Amsterdam is probably the most prestigious team that is in Europa League this year. 36 titles, that is a record for Dutch football. 20 cups, again a record for Dutch football. 4 UEFA Champions League titles. They won the Cup Winner Cup 2 in 1986-87. They won the UEFA Cup 91-92. They also won the UEFA Super Cup twice and the Intercontinental Cup, which basically was back in the days what today we know as the FIFA Club World Cup. But back in the days there was just one game played between the winner of the UEFA Champions League and the Copa Libertadores from South America. Unfortunately for Ajax, they went through some tough times recently. Last year I know they were flirting with relegation at some point. They managed to save themselves and they're currently 9th in the Dutch league with 7 points after 4 games. So yeah, definitely probably if you look at all the teams, this is the biggest name with the biggest results and performances in European football so far. The other clubs from Holland, Alkmaar, 2 titles and 4 cups. and they played the UEFA Cup final back in 1980-81. If I remember correctly, they were beaten by Ipswich Town. Yes, you heard me right. Ipswich Town beat Alkmaar in the UEFA Cup final in 1981. They are currently second in the Dutch league, undefeated, 16 points from 6 games. And Twente, the other team from Holland, the third one title and 3 cups. They also play a UEFA Cup final back in 74-75, and I think they were beaten by Borussia Gladbach, who was big at the time. I think they won the Champions League as well. They are currently 4th in the Dutch league with 11 points from 6 games. Another big name that comes from West Europe, big name back in the 80s, definitely, Anderlecht Bruxelles. 34 titles, also represents a record for Belgian football, 9 cups. They won the UEFA Cup in 1982-83. They won the Cup Winner Cups twice, and also they won the UEFA Super Cup twice as well. Not so good at the moment, pretty bad start of the season, to be honest. 8th place in a Belgian league that has 16 teams only, so somewhere in the mid-table. After 8 games, just 13 points for Anderlecht, but definitely back in the 80s, a very big and powerful name in European football. And another team that probably after Ajax and Manchester United has the biggest results from the teams that they are participating in Europa League is Porto. 30 titles in Portugal, 20 cups. They won the UEFA Champions League twice. The first one was back in the 87 with the back heel from Majder, the Algerian guy, in a final against Benfica Lisbon. They won the UEFA Cup in 2002-2003, and that one was after Jose Mourinho was appointed as Porto manager, and they won the UEFA Champions League the year after, 2003-2004. Europa League also winners in 2010 and 2011. And now I think this 2011 win by Porto was the last one up until Olympiacos Piraeus won the Conference League last season, when a team outside of Italy, Germany, Spain and England won a European competition. So FC Porto was the last one back in 2011, and Olympiacos Piraeus won it in 2024, the Conference League. So in between, there were only 4 countries that won European competitions. They also won the UEFA Super Cup in 1987 and the Intercontinental Cup twice. And also they were finalists in the Cup Winner Cup in 1983-84. So definitely, you know, good performances by Porto. Like I said, big name in European football. They have 1 defeat. They're, like I said, sitting second, 15 points after 6 games. Moving on to the Nordic clubs, Norway, Sweden and Denmark. Bodo Glimt, just like PAOK Salonic, a club that recently appeared on the European scene. 3 titles and 2 cups in Norway. They play a Conference League quarterfinal back in the 2021-2022 season. They are first in the Norway League. Now bear in mind, the Norway and the Sweden League, they are played after the spring-fall system. So basically, they are coming to an end pretty soon. They are first in the league after 23 games, 50 points. And if I remember correctly, they are 10 points ahead of the second place. So definitely, they're going to win their league. Malmo, 26 titles and 16 cups. And they were a finalist of the UEFA Champions League back in 78-79. They are first in the Swedish league, just like the Norway league. It's played in spring and fall, basically. So they are coming to an end pretty soon, and they as well are way ahead of the second place, probably somewhere around 10 points as well. After 24 games, 53 points. Elfsborg, the second team from Sweden, 6 titles and 3 cups, not too bad. Currently 6th in the Swedish league after 24 games with 38 points. And from Denmark, Midtjylland with 4 titles and 2 cups, currently first, undefeated after 9 games with 6 wins and 3 draws and 21 points. And the other 3 teams from West and North Europe are Braga from Portugal, 3 cups, no domestic titles. I think just Braga and another team are the only ones from these 36 teams that haven't won a domestic title. They were Europa League finalists back in 2010-2011, and I think they played Porto in that final that they lost. They're currently 7 in the Portuguese league after 6 games with 11 points. Union Saint-Gilloise from Belgium, 11 titles. And this is interesting, if I remember correctly, all of them were before the Second World War. 3 cups, and they play a quarterfinal of the Europa League in 2022-2023. Currently 12 in the Belgium League after 8 games with 10 points, which is pretty bad considering, like I said, that the Belgian League has only 16 teams. And of course, Glasgow Rangers, another big name, 55 titles, that's a record for Scottish football, and 34 cups. They won the Cup Winner Cup back in 71-72 and the UEFA Super Cup in 1972. They were also finalists in the Cup Winners' Cup in 1661 and 66-67, and they played the Europa League final twice, in 2007-2008 and 2021-2022, and I think that Giovanni Van Bronckhorst was the coach in 2022 when they play the final. They are currently 3rd in the Premiership in Scotland after 5 games, 10 points. Now we are left with the Big 5 European leagues. All of them have 2 teams in the competition, and I'll start with Spain Athletic Bilbao. Like I said, the only team in the competition which will have to travel twice to Istanbul to play Fenerbahce and Besiktas. 8 titles and 24 cups for Athletic Bilbao, and they played the UEFA Cup final twice in 76, 77 and 2011-2012. They are currently 3rd, a pretty good start of the La Liga season. After 7 games, 13 points, in 3rd place, like I said, after Barcelona and Real Madrid. And the other team from Spain is Real Sociedad, which is at the other end of the spectrum when it comes to start of the season. A pretty bad start of the season for them. 16th place, just 5 points after 7 games. They do have 2 domestic titles and 3 cups in Spain. Moving on to France, Nice, 4 titles and 3 cups. They barely missed on the Champions League place last season. I think it was the last game, last minute, when they conceded at home against Lille, if I remember correctly. They currently 7th in the Ligue 1 with 7 points after 5 games. And Olympique Lyon, not doing so good. 14th place in Ligue 1, just 4 points in 5 games. They do have 7 titles and 5 cups. They played the Champions League semi-final twice, 2009, 2010 and 2019, 2020. They also play a Europa League semi-final in 2016, 2017 and the Cup Winners' Cup semi-final in 1963, 1964. Germany, and here we're gonna find the only team from these 36 that haven't won a domestic title or a cup, and that is Hoffenheim. Yeah, the only team from these 36 that hasn't won a domestic title or a cup. They are currently 15 in the Bundesliga, just one win in 4. They do have Kramaric, who I think got a hat-trick in the first game of the season and then another goal in the second one. So out of the 6 goals they scored so far, if I remember correctly, 4 belong to Kramaric, just 3 points. And then the other one, Eintracht Frankfurt, another big name in European football, 1 title and 5 cups, currently sitting 4th in Bundesliga with 3 wins in 4 games and 9 points. They were finalists of the Champions League in 1959-60. They won the Europa League twice in 1979-1980 and 2021-2022. And they were finalists of the UEFA Super Cup in 2022. Italy, 2 clubs from Rome, both of them in the Europa League. AS Rome, 3 titles and 9 cups, and the Conference League winners in 2021-2022 under Jose Mourinho. They also play a final of the Champions League in 1983-84 season, and they were in the final of the Europa League twice, 1990-91 and 2022-2023. They're currently 9th in Serie A, and they just had their first win of the season over the weekend, beating Udinese 3-0 at home, 6 points in 5 games. And then the other team from Italy sits in Serie A just above them in 8th place with 7 points in 5 games. Lazio with 2 titles and 7 cups, and they won the Cup Winners' Cup back in 1988-1999 season, and also in 1999 they won the UEFA Super Cup as well. And the last country, England, and another big name, probably the most known and with the best performances from the 36 teams, Manchester United, 20 titles and 13 cups, 13 FA Cups, 3 UEFA Champions League titles. They won the Cup Winner Cup in 1990-91. They won the Europa League in 2016-2017. They won the UEFA Super Cup in 1991. Also the Intercontinental Cup in 1999 and the FIFA Club World Cup in 2008. So yeah, pretty much they won everything. They're currently 11 in Premier League with just 7 points in 5 games. And the other team from England, Tottenham Hotspur, 2 titles and 8 cups. They won the Cup Winner Cup in 1962-1963, and also they won the Europa League twice. And currently just above Manchester United in the Premier League, 10th place with 7 points in 5 games. And at the end, when you put it all together and you add it all up, all these teams together combined, they have won 545 domestic titles and 385 domestic cups. They won the UEFA Champions League 10 times. They won the Cup Winner Cup 9 times. Also, they won the UEFA or Europa League 9 times. Twice the Conference League, and they have 11 UEFA Super Cup wins. And like I said, Braga and Hoffenheim are the only teams without a league title, and Hoffenheim is the only team without a cup as well. So that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and until next time, I wish everybody a wonderful day. Bye bye.